Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of the Business Doctor Show. John Pyron here, the Business Doctor, and so cool. Welcome. Everybody can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. Cool. All right, Gene. Monitor the chat window. You got all the recording stuff going. Let's rock and roll. Joe, go ahead and unmute yourself, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, so Joe's going to be our featured guest here today. Okay, I'm excited about this call because we're going to talk about business systems, processes, how to automate your thing. You are literally in the zone here on a live call because less than, let's see, what time is it? 2 p.m. 2 a.m. 8 minus 2 is 6. So 12 plus 6 is 18. 18 hours from now, okay, I will be unplugging from my own business. Okay. I will literally be turning off my phone. Only certain people are going to be able to get a hold of me. And the only reason I'm going to be able to do that is because of operations and systems. Okay. So I thought, what an appropriate call to have and bring my own systems engineer to the conversation. So we could actually just talk straight. You guys can be a fly on the wall, or you can participate and ask whatever questions you want about operations, systems, processes. How do you get you, the founder, the owner, the one that only you can do it, by the way, because that's what we all think about ourselves is nobody can do it as great as we can actually do it. That's what most business owners and founders think. I know. How do I know this? Oh, wait, that's me. Got it. I've done it, I don't know, this will be my fourth time to scale. So what I'm doing over the next 12 days, okay, I'm going to fast forward to your future. If this is something, if you've ever wanted a company to literally run without you, okay, where it actually is better when you come back. It's more profitable. Deals happen. Clients are happy. You actually gain clients. You'll want to pay attention to this show and go back and listen to the recording, because all I'm going to do today is share with you exactly what I've done to get to this moment in time. Literally 18 hours from now, Joe, Gene, Shira, Gary Henson, Dave Vanny, Mark Vokich, Barbara, who's here, is going to run my company while I'm gone as if I'm still here. Okay. Here is a real world situation for you as a founding business owner. If you got hit by a bus today, knock on wood, or you injured your hand, or whatever reason you could not show up tomorrow, how long does the business run without you? Just put in the chat window. How long would your business run without you before it starts affecting the income of the business? Okay. One of my clients who I just had a conversation with him and his wife this morning, the type of construction that they're in, if something happens to that dude, one day, business is done. It's over. Okay. Starts directly impacting revenue immediately in 24-hour period and just drops. Okay. And they've done an incredible job of working their tail off to build almost a $500,000 business. What? Are you able to hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So somebody put Kia in the chat window. Okay. Michael Colello did. Oh, killed in action. Got it. Okay.
It would not make it.
There you go. So it wouldn't in this case, I told him, I'm like, listen, man, if first of all, you have to protect what the downside is. And the first thing that I have to do with him, because he did a strategy session with me. Okay, he came out to my house, did a 2-hour strategy session, and I created a strategic plan for him. And at the end of the day, I'm just going to stay on the phone. At the end of the day, the very first thing we have to do is I have to hook him up with Red, my go-to insurance person here, and we got to get what's called a key man policy. Okay, so it was confusing as to what a key man policy is, but essentially, what a key man policy is this: because the business completely depends on his ability to show up. What happens if he's a contractor? Okay, so what happens if he hurts his hand? What happens if the hammer slips? What happens if he falls down off of a ladder? Um, he already told me what's going to happen. The income stops. Okay. Well, if you have a key man insurance policy, then if you're not able to show up, then what happens is the policy ends up paying the revenue of the business. You're protecting the business. Okay. You have life insurance and disability and Aflac's policy to protect you as a person and your personal income. But what happens if if your income directly relies on your ability to show up in your business? Okay. So a key man policy, if your business completely depends on you, look into key man insurance. That's lesson number one. Lesson number two is understand that there are certain things about your business that you have to create duplication on. And the very first hire that you have to make is automating and delegating and outsourcing your weaknesses. Once you get that done, then you can hire your strengths. Well, in this case, he's got his wife crawling around doing construction, okay, and she's already able to do that, and so we got to get her out of the field, hire a new person that can do what he does, and now we have a situation where we got to free him up to go and get more clients and use POI and Powerbase and a referral network and a little small mastermind group. And then next thing you know, by the end of this year, he's going to have 3 people that can do what he does. Wife's going to be running the office. There's going to be a lot of systems and processes and automation in place. And I'm going to send their butts away for 2 weeks in March to stress test the business. They're going to come back. There's going to be a couple of things broken. We're going to spend another 4 months stress testing it again. And this time next year, they're going to be gone for almost 2 or 3 weeks, and the business should run without them. That's how fast that can happen. But it takes an open mind. Okay. So before I bring Joe into the conversation, I want to share an opposite story. Somebody referred somebody to me, and 100% great referral, running an insurance agency, very successful insurance agency. Has 1, 2, 3, getting ready to hire the 4th employee, reoccurring revenue. Said, okay, where do you want to be? Went through the whole strategy session, the 10, 15-minute call, and like, here's where I want to be. Here's what I want to do. Here's what it's going to do for me. Here's what I'm willing to do. Here's the challenges. I gave her solutions to the challenges. Now that you have the solutions to challenge, are you actually going to do the work to fix your challenges? Or are you still going to just complain about it? No, I'm going to do it. Okay, great. Here's where you want to be at the end of 90 days, right? Okay, by achieving that, this is what's going to happen. You're at, right? And then I ask the question. If you keep doing what you've been doing with the strategies that you've been using and the actions you've been taking, are you going to get to where you want to go? She said, no. I go, you open to new ideas and strategies. Yeah, great. Here's what we ought to do. We ought to do a 2-hour strategy session together. I can help you get cleared out, blah, 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 blah. And she started making excuses about why she didn't want to do a strategy session. Okay, it wasn't about the money. Okay, it wasn't about anything. It's just that when you talk out both sides of your mouth as an owner, you claim you want your freedom. You claim that it's not working. You know that you've ran out of knowledge. You know that you're the bottleneck, and you know that you have to get out of the way. And then somebody comes along and says, here's your solution. And you go, yes, I want to do it. Oh, wait, I don't really want to let go of control. I just finally told her, I said, listen, you're not ready for help. You need to go and suffer some more and work another 75 hours a week for the next 3 months and experience the pain, and then come and talk to me. And if I decide I want to take you on at that point, I will. Okay. Now, here's the lessons with systems. You need to have enough of a pipeline where you have more prospects that you could ever get to, so you can actually talk to somebody like that and be honest with them. I told her what she needed to hear, not what she wanted to hear. And the bottom line is she's a founding business owner and she is the problem, and she is refusing to get out of the way, but yet she wants to complain about her problem. Okay. And if you're listening to this recording and that's you and the shoe fits, then you know about the shoe. Okay. Because it's a great segue to introduce Joe here, because unless you have systems and processes and you can, and the business can run without you, you do not own the business owns you. Okay. So Joe, introduce yourself real quick. Tell us about your background, and why you're an authority in this space and what you did for the previous company that you ran.
Yeah, so thank you, John. Yeah, I'm Joe Newton. I run Newton's Tech, and last 10 plus years, I worked as pretty much the operations lead for MSP IT companies. MSP stands for Managed Service Provider. So basically, your IT company that does all the IT work for you for small businesses. The last MSP I worked at, I was director of operations there. Was there for about 7 years and was doing pretty much anything in operations, but automating, documenting, a lot of different things to help speed up our processes. We were just a few technicians, and we had well over 150 clients. We were able to manage all of that based on, the processes that I had set up, documentation, all that good stuff. One really good example was we opened up a sister company to fill a niche, and that took off right before I left. And so we had gone from onboarding new clients, probably like 2 a month, to about 5 to 7 per week. And so I very quickly, working with a new hire, getting them trained, and got that entire process automated from when the sale, the DocuSign came in, all the way through into the actual technical onboarding part, which John's fully aware can be a beast, depending on how in depth you get. But that allowed us, with just 2 people, and after just about a month of creating that process with a completely new person to the company, they were completely took over onboardings 100%, and I was able to just oversee it at that point and handle escalations and that sort of thing, which was huge. And that is primarily due to creating a system, having everything documented, processes, automations, and so forth.
So now I've owned 4 IT managed service companies, and I was able to get them to a place of running without me. One of them I took from 500,000 to 6.5 million. The other one, 1.2 to 8.5 million. The other one from 0 to 1.5 million, bought one, merged it, systematized it. In all 3 of those cases, Steve Schulte was the one with the first one. Mark Meredith was the one for the second one. And Jared Cook, Premier IT, was the operations guy for the third one. The only reason I was able to unplug is because of people like you. Okay. So walk us through mentally, like you worked in the organization, then all of a sudden you took over, right? Operations. Okay. Walk us through, because I'm sure the owner, you had to pry stuff out of his cold hands to get out of the way. Okay. Walk us through the biggest problem that you deal with when it comes to owners getting out of the way and helping them run the business, get the business to the point where it works without them.
Yeah, so the primary owner, when I had first started there, I was a like tier 1, tier 2 technician, getting introduced into their operations, and within about a year of starting that, I pretty much was running the operations, just didn't have the title or authority. But The owner, there was the main owner, and then there was the partner who was kind of the chief of operations, chief information officer, if you will. Um, the owner took a little while, took a couple years, but he would try to dive in and help with tickets or help with some in the weeds technical things, and I just kept having to, you know, remind him and show him, and he would go on different week-long vacations or whatever, kind of like John's talking about with the stress tests, and he would find that we didn't need him at all. He can just focus on the sales. And once he got that fully realized and, you know, saw what we were doing with the systems, the processes and everything, he was able to, you know, take that time and really just start focusing on his own things, primarily sales and marketing and growing the company, which was great for him. The other partner, kind of the same thing, pretty much took over his position and freed him up to do specific things like higher up escalations or compliance and that sort of stuff. It really just took, you know, creating the systems, taking over the meetings, the weekly operations meetings, the all staff meetings, the daily stand-ups, pretty much just took control of all of it and systemized it, put in processes, workflows, automations, all that stuff in place. But then also, I didn't just do that. It's always also the results that came from it, that showed them, okay, you know, we can do our week or 2 week long conferences where they would go off to California, you know, whatever, and have no stress or worry or anything at all, and then never get a message from any of us needing them, all because of, you know, the systems and everything that was put into place. So.
And so what's the biggest problem when it comes to what are some of the common systems, processes, and problems that prevent an owner from having their freedom?
I would say escalations for sure. Um, but also, so not having things documented well and or having your employees trained and them knowing where that documentation is. You can document
Mhm.
all day, but if you don't train them on it and they're not even aware of where it is, each employee is going to do something different for a process that should be the same every time. And so if you got somebody that doesn't know where the documentation is, they don't actually know the process, the person that does know it is out for that day or on vacation,
Mhm.
then they're coming to you and it's going to happen repeatedly over and over and over again.
Yeah, 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 because they never go away. I mean, you're the bottleneck, right?
Exactly. And a lot of the businesses like that we're in, where you're the owner, you may not even have anybody else yet, or maybe you have an assistant or a couple employees, or you're starting to grow and scale and you're wanting to hire people, and everything about the company is in your head. Only
Yeah,
you know everything about it. And so
yeah,
then you've now created, you may have left working for somebody and left a job that you were able to leave, but now you've worked yourself into a job that you can never leave because
yeah,
you're the only one that knows how to run it. And
yeah.
so, great example there. Newton's Tech, I run it myself, but I don't run it in the sense that I don't need to document anything. I have it in my head. I constantly document everything and process everything. So that way, you know, when the time comes and as I grow and scale and I start to hire people, everything will be where they need it to do the job that they need. Um, so I think that's very important and a big issue a lot of the times with small businesses and things that they run into.
Yeah. And so, so Choya, welcome to the party. You're muted.
There we go.
Okay. So Choya is the co-host of the show. Okay. Joe's our for those of you who listen to the podcast because you don't see the video, is Joe's our guest. Choya and I run the show together. So Choya, real quick, I think it's a great opportunity for a short little commercial here about what's going on in incredible towns, incredible business networking, incredible visibility. This is
Awesome.
your commercial spot, dude. Go ahead.
Appreciate it. We just had a very successful our first training event called IBM Masterclass that several of you were there, and that was absolutely a fantastic. We're doing a speaker series that's centered around learning actionable items on how to improve your business immediately. So we got successful entrepreneurs, three of them in the Knoxville area, to talk about not what they did, but how they did it, what tips and tricks and motivations they'd had. So that was a fantastic event. John, I'm sorry you couldn't make it, but it was nice to have Allison there. So um, she's she was good to have there, and Rita was there as well. So we enjoyed having you there. Um, and Like I said, we plan on doing more of those. So look out for those. We have our speed networking coming up in Knoxville in February. We also have them coming up in Chattanooga in October and Johnson City in September. So those are great opportunities in person. Online, it just keeps getting better and better. September of last year, we started really upgrading and optimizing our systems and have gone from an average click position of 25 to 12 in Google. And for those of you that don't know what that means, basically that means on average our thousands of pages, on average, they're the 12th listing. Now, some of them are number one, some of them are probably number 1,000, who knows? But to have a click through rate that high is
Yeah.
unheard of. And to
Yeah.
cut it in half in that amount of time is unheard of.
Yeah.
And the systems we use to do that, though, are now available to you through incredible visibility. And that's our new very powerful SEO content creation and amplification service that if you don't have somebody creating amazing content for you and then bouncing off a local ecosystem, because all search is local, then you need to look at incredible visibility. Easiest way to do that, because I don't want to take up this whole call, I'll put my link in the chat. If you want to schedule a call, we can have a quick 20 minutes, see if it's something you want to continue looking at and go from there. But it is. So take a look. It's incredible visibility by Incredible Towns. It's the next level. We're getting people on the ask engines as well, and that's where you need to be. It's the future of search.
Absolutely. So, well, thanks for that, and definitely 70 chapters for IBM meetings.
75.
75 now. Okay. Now, I mean, when you and I met in January, you were at 70, so you've already added 5 more. And I want everybody to wrap their head around this. Okay. If at anything you need to have a 10 to 15-minute Zoom call with Choya, if somebody puts together 75 chapters that are volunteer, 2 people show up and run it. Let's see, 75 times 2, 150 people that are pretty much promoting your brand without you having to pay them a dime. I think you kind of know what you're doing in marketing. Just saying, just a little bit, right?
A little bit.
And so if anything, I would highly recommend you book a 10 to 15 minutes call with Choya and just pick his freaking brain on how the heck do you get exposure and visibility, or just save yourself a bunch of time and try him out. So that would be my my goal there. So
We're even
so
offering visibility on a month right now because we're small business owners too, and we understand. Google recommends 4 to 6 months, of course, for this level of building, and a lot of people do this kind of stuff continuously. But we can and will make a difference for you.
well,
Be
the
very
thing
aggressive.
is I'm trying to make a commission here, so I'm not going to discount, and I'm just kidding.
I didn't say I was going to discount it.
Hey, you know what? Let me move this
I just
around
said
a
it's
second.
month to month. I never said anything
Hey,
about discount, John.
there you go.
It's so
and
aggressively priced already
now
that no discount is
if you get
needed.
it through me, it's going to be a 6-month contract. I ain't doing no month to
Okay,
month
fair enough.
thing, but no, yeah, I'm
Well,
just kidding.
that adds on the John Pyron add-on, and that's
That's it. That's
invaluable.
it, man.
So,
There you go. There you go. So actually, what would be more powerful is this doing a joint venture,
mhm.
like full blown business strategy session with them, where me, you, Joe, Maybe even Rita shows up, Barbara, and we do kind of a holistic top to bottom business strategy, you know? So that's something I'll talk to you about when I get back from this stress test. Is some businesses, it would be worth us spending a half a day to a day with them at their place, strategizing and going through their entire business from top to bottom and doing the total business makeover in about a day. Um, Sounds cool. It'll definitely be expensive, but some companies will actually buy it because I've done it before and they buy it. So, all right, let's get back to our topic. So, Joe, um, give us some actual how-to. I'm a small business owner like Barbara. I have a bookkeeping, accounting firm. I'm in Florida. I'm Rita. I'm a funnel godmother. Michelle, in her area of mortgage. Michael Colello is, taxes. Larry's here. Choya's here. Where does a small business owner start when it comes to looking at where do I start with systems? Like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, how do I start?
Yep. So great question. Definitely the first thing that you as an owner that you don't want to do is just to start buying random pieces of software that you think are going to fill those gaps that are going to make your job easier, faster, um, or even just blindly going into Chat GPT or Claude or Gemini and just saying, "Hey, how can I do this? How can I automate everything?" Um, the one thing one of the ways that you can start is kind of look back at your time for the week, find a single recurring process that you feel is costing you time. It's delaying revenue, delaying, time that could be spent making money with clients, ROI, something that's frustrating clients, or it's requiring your constant involvement that you really even don't even need to be part of. Um, and so, once you get that figured out, first step is to kind of just choose the process. So might be bringing on a bookkeeping client, responding to a mortgage lead, delivering a funnel project, collecting documents, invoicing, following up on an outstanding request. Second step after that is to basically just map what happens today with that. What triggers the process? What's the desired result? What steps happen between those points? Who performs each step? What information do they need? Where is it stored? Where do the delays, the mistakes, the questions, occur during that process? Then the third step after that, identify everything that depends on you, the owner. Ask yourself, why does this step, why do I keep having to be involved in this? And basically, from there, obviously, once you ask that question on why you keep having to be involved, is the goal would be trying to systemize it, document it, create a process so you're not having to be involved, right? So the next step after that, step 5, you could be define, or I'm sorry, step 4 would be to basically simplify that process and standardize it. Remove any unnecessary steps that aren't needed in it. Define it as one normal process, assign an owner to it, not you, and document what good completion looks like. So, and real quick, documentation tangent. Documentation doesn't just mean you write it down somewhere and you're good. It's got to be written for the person that's going to be doing the job, not for the person that already knows how to do the job. And it's got to be easily found, right? Just because you create a procedure or document it and nobody knows where it is, in other words, there is no procedure. If they can't find it, they don't know about it, or that there even should be one. And then if they do find it and it only just kind of tells them real short and sweet what the kind of goal is, but not how to get there and what the results should look like, then again, it's not a procedure. It's not good documentation. And so then after, once you simplify and standardize it, you then define the exceptions. What can the employee decide without having to bring it up to you, escalate it to you, get approval, what requires approval in that process, when should it be escalated, and who's it go to, and what kind of information is needed. And then after that, that's where technology will come in From there, you can then, automate the repetitive and predictable parts, creating records, sending confirmations, assigning tasks to different people in the business, requesting documentation or documents, scheduling reminders, moving information between systems, generating status reports, all those sorts of things. That's the part that you can, use technology and software and automations and integrations on that part. And then after that, test it, right? So you got the process created, you've documented it, you've introduced technology in the sense of, like I said, software integrations, automations, whatever it is, to knock out automatically the things that are repetitive and predictable. And then, so once you got everything put together, then you test it, so you remove yourself from the process, because that was the whole point in the first place, if you're able to, obviously, and let it play itself out with the people that are assigned, with the process you have in place, the documents, procedures, everything that you put in place, the technology, and see how it goes, and it's probably going to fail first few times, and that's okay. You just refine it, figure out what was left out of the procedure, out of the documentation. Maybe they didn't understand part of it, whatever. After you test it a few times and get it refined, there's one recurring thing that may feel like not a huge ordeal, but it's big enough that you realize it's a problem. And now you've got a process behind it, and it frees you up to do something else for the business, grow the business, get some more money, do client work, and then just continue this. Find the next thing that's recurring, taking up a bunch of your time that is not needed for you, or even your manager below you, or whatever, and just keep that going. Keep finding those processes, documenting them, creating procedures to the point where you want your entire operations to basically be documented, have procedures, have processes, all that good stuff. Because also what will happen is, once you do that and you grow and you scale, not only are the employees and everyone you have now, they're able to take on more clients, and the clients will be happy because you'll do really good work, because you're able to do it not just more quickly, but more efficiently, with less man hours, without you having to be involved in every step. But then whenever you bring somebody else on, it's like, okay, it's a great thing that I'm doing so much business, I'm making enough money, I can hire somebody. And then you immediately get super stressed out, because you're like, well, crap, I'm already trying to keep up with everything, and now I got to train this person. Well, if everything's already documented and you already have everything, with procedures, processes, systems, all that good stuff, when they come on, it's you train them, show them where everything is, and then they just follow the processes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so everything that you just described, okay, the reason I'm excited about this call all week long, everything that he has just described, I've been through it, been there, done it, got the t-shirt, and tomorrow will be that test for every single thing that he talked about. Okay, every single process, system, procedure, employee, we got, bookkeeping, accounting, finance, operations, systems delivery, coaches, consulting, coaching, sales, marketing, every single aspect that runs my business is going to be put to the test for the next 12 days. I literally will not be here. Okay. And I will not turn on my phone, and I will not check in. And so there's two things that's going to get stressed. Okay. Two things that are really going to be put to the test. I personally have to grow, because the tendency for me to turn my damn cell phone on, excuse my language, and check in is something I will fight for the next 12 days. I already know, because when I did it back in March on the first stress test to figure out what was broken so I can spend the next 4 months fixing it, which is where we are now, I already know. I'm going to hop on that cruise ship on Sunday. Okay. Not going to buy the Wi-Fi package. Okay. Not going to have cell coverage. Okay. I'm going to freak out that's why I'm going down 3 days ahead of time. so I can have all my freak out moments on Thursday and Friday. It'll be a lot on Thursday, then less on Friday, and then less on Saturday, and then finally on Sunday. I should be at least in a relaxed state to hop on that ship. And the moment I turn that phone off and I'm not able to communicate, I should have a little bit more freak out. And then I'm just going to have to come to a place of acceptance. If the whole dang thing falls apart and gets destroyed while I'm gone, it is what it is. Okay. So when I land in Grand Turk, they have cell coverage there. And the last time I did that back in March, I literally turned on my phone, got cell coverage, clicked the Google Gmail button, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I shut it down immediately, turned my phone back off. I'm like, I'm like the mental aspect as an owner, right? And sure enough, I came back. A lot of stuff was great, and then I figured out nobody in my entire business can close a deal while I'm gone. The biggest fear that an owner has came to fruition, which is everything else ran smooth. Tire operation ran smooth, didn't lose a single client, but not a single person on my team could close a deal. Okay. And I remember it was a 12-hour drive back from Orlando, okay, to Tennessee. And my wife thought I was having some sort of demon possession because I was talking to myself out loud, ranting and raving. This is BS, blah blah. I'm cussing out my team, on and on and on. I'm talking to Dave Vanny and my mentor, and and you know what? This is why you have a good mentor. This is why you need a good mentor, because Dave he listened. And then he said something that he should be grateful there's 2,500 miles of separation. Because he said, okay, whose fault is it? I'm like, you don't understand. Alicia, Gene, and this person, blah, Mark, blah, blah. He goes, no, no. Whose fault is it? Now, I've been working with Dave since 1996, so I already knew where he was going. And I said, well, of course it's my fault. Okay, well, now that you got that, are you in acceptance mode? Good. Okay, great. You took 100% responsibility. Here's the key. Take 100% responsibility for the owner. It is your fault. Your people don't perform, it's your fault. Your people lose a client, it's your fault. People don't close a deal, it's your fault. Everything is your fault. And the faster you accept that responsibility, the sooner you can get to the next step, which is the solution. And I said, okay, I accept that. What do we do now? Well, what broke? What worked? What didn't work? What broke? Came down to is I had to fix the sales. Okay, got Gene together. We hired Shira. Had to let a couple of people go because they just could not make it work. They were the wrong fit. Replaced them with somebody else. Brought on Dave Vanny to close deals. Brought on Gary Henson back from businesscoach.com to run clients and strategy sessions and so forth. Brought Mark on to do appointment setting because all of us as business owners, we have all kinds of stuff to follow up on, but we don't have time to follow up on them. So brought Mark back on to the follow up. Tested it out for the last 3 weeks. Last Wednesday, the previous Tuesday, and today. Or actually, no, we tested it yesterday, I believe, Gene. And sure enough, they knocked it out of the park. They were able to run appointments all on their own, close their deals. They've already got deals closed without me. I'm like, I should be able to come back and have it run. Now, here's the point. Without going through what Joe talked about, okay, I would never be here. Okay. Now, I wished I would have met Joe back in March when I got back, because all the crap I had to do, I could have just paid his butt to do it. And I would have paid him. But I didn't meet him until, I don't know, 3 weeks ago when Rita introduced us, 4 weeks ago, something like that. Okay. And so now Mr. Joe gets to be come in while I'm gone and make sure everybody freaking does their job. You know? And the cool thing is, Joe doesn't even know about that. He just now found out about this on this live call. Okay. And which is a true stress test, because I have to be able to get hit by a bus since the business still survive without me. So Joe's going to sit back, going to pay him to just do nothing but watch, learn, and see what's broken, and then fix it while I'm gone. And when I get back, I should have a full calendar with sold stuff, and then we get to scale. Now here, that's good for me, big deal, whatever, right? Every single thing I'm just talking about is the reason you need to do a strategy session with me or Joe or Barbara or Choya or Rita. Okay. Or you could be like that lady I talked to earlier and sit and complain about your problems until the cows come home and do nothing about it. Okay. And I got good news for you. If you don't want to do something about your problem, go look in the mirror and complain to yourself and stop complaining to everybody else. Okay, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. But too many business owners that I've dealt with make so many excuses for why they are where they are. And in reality, unless you have a W-2 employee, you are not a business owner. Okay, you are a self-employed individual that owns your own job. Okay, and I want you to graduate from that, so that way you have a business that actually works and produces an income, so you can actually take a break. My gosh, man. You know, I mean, you're going to die early if you don't get duplication in your business. There's only so much stress your body is going to take. And Gene knows this from last year. We did 67 business transformation. 41% of them were contractors. And the stats were between 500,000 a year and 1.5 million in revenue. The owner was working 75 hours a week in the business, and the average age was 43. And most of them started having health problems at age 43 because of the damn stress. And there's no reason for it, especially if you listen to this call. And if you don't take action from this call, it doesn't matter to me if you hire anybody on this call, including me. I will introduce you to thousands of coaches. Find someone and get out of your own way. Okay. And, you know, if it comes across harsh, the only reason I'm talking to you like this is because I want you to be successful. Okay. And I'm willing to tell you the truth. And I don't need you to hire my butt. Okay. And if you don't like me and never come back here and unsubscribe, that's fine with me. Okay. But I want you to be successful. And somebody needs to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Because I'm sick and tired of watching too many entrepreneurs die early, missing out on their kids' lives, not being able to be the husband or the mother that they or the wife that they want to be. I know, because I built 2 businesses while Dylan was growing up and missed out on his life. And he's now 34 with all kinds of, you know, mommy daddy issues. Preston's 19. He's got a very healthy self-esteem because I was there every single day because I took it serious as far as getting myself free. And Joe Newton can help you do that. Barbara can come in. I don't have any worry about billing or accounting or finance while I'm gone, because Shira's already going to say, they sold another one, Barbara. Barbara's going to do my billing. She's going to do my, she's going to collect the money. She's going to give them all a heads up that we're good to go. Okay. Rita's going to handle the funnel piece. Michael's going to deal with the tax stuff. Okay. Joe's going to handle the operation. Gene's going to make sure everybody does their job. By the way, give Gene a high five. As of today, Gene has been with me for 2 years. 2 years. Okay. And Gene will tell you flat out, if you were a fly on the wall with the conversation I had with her and Shira this morning, if I come back and there's not so many sales done every single person in the company except for Gene and Shira will be fired. And I'll go on record saying it right now, because as a business owner, I could take it all the way down back to me and rebuild it. But I have refused as a business owner to be owned by a company. I left my employer because I did not want to be owned anymore. Okay. And you guys deserve a business that runs without you so you can have the life that you want to live. Okay. So if you get nothing out of this call, stop trying to be the systems person you're not. Okay. And if you struggle with marketing or getting visibility, stop making excuses. Get on the phone with Choya, sign up for whatever the heck he puts in front of you, and leave him alone and get out of his way and let him give you the visibility that you need. Okay. If you have not used the Augusta rule in your business, you have overpaid your taxes, hands down, 100% of the time. And you need to talk to Michael Colello, because you had a tax preparer, not a tax strategist. Okay. And, if you have to do a bunch of follow-up and you miss follow-ups and you can't be consistent with your follow-up, you need a funnel system. And that's where Rita Thomas comes in. Okay. And all of you think that your bookkeeping is being done correctly, but without Barbara giving you a second opinion, you probably don't even know what the heck a statement of cash flows is, a balance sheet, a profit and loss, or even what the term EBITDA means. Because you have a bookkeeper that's just been doing your stuff and not educating your butt on how to read your own financial statements. Okay. And then last but not least, when you make all this money, okay, and you need to put it somewhere, then you get with Michelle and she's going to show you how to invest the money. Okay. So this is the power of having an ecosystem team. Okay. You can't just focus on your own sales. You will make, Gene, how many appointments do we get every week on average right now?
Around, every day we get like more than 10, or an average of 10.
I mean, Mark loaded it up with like almost 20 freaking appointments
Yes.
this week.
Yeah, 20 or more.
And the only reason is it's all the dang contacts I don't personally have time to follow up on. And then half of them are referrals because they just come in. I mean, if you want that problem, get with Jean while I'm gone. You don't even need to meet with me. Just have her. She'll come in and she's the one that runs this show, by the way, in my company. Like, I don't even know what's going on. She tells me I'm supposed to show up at a certain time, and I do. Well, actually, Shira tells me that now. Jean just makes sure that Shira has a problem to solve because she gets exposure. Okay. So here's the point. You got to have systems and processes. You don't have systems and processes, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Go back, plug in with Joe. Joe, definitely put your information in the chat window. Gene, make sure on the YouTube channel when this thing gets published, okay, and on the podcast channel, you have all the confirmation, contact information for Joe so they can connect with him on this episode. Okay. If you engage with Joe and you like Joe, okay, and you agree to do a operational strategy session with Joe, I will join Joe along with him. Okay. We will do a complete business strategy session, top to bottom for you. 2 for the price of 1. Okay. Just because I want to come alongside of Joe and get his momentum going, because I've watched what he's done in companies, and it's like, dude, the world's got to know about your butt. Yeah. So anyways, enough of that rant and rave. Any questions at all while we still have some time? Anybody have anything that they would like some help on today, or comments?
Well, I have a comment. Yowza. That was amazing.
That's it.
You are really setting the bar high. I love that this is a stress test for your business more than it's a vacation for you, even though, yay, you get to take a vacation. And that's something that I've seen a lot of clients or potential clients talk to me, and I say, "Where'd you go on your last vacation?" And they look at me like, "I'm a business owner. I don't get vacation." Right?
Yeah.
So kudos to you, and thank you for trusting all of us with
Yeah.
your business.
Yeah. It's I cannot, like, I mean, I'm just jonesing, man. I cannot wait to hop in that car at 8 a.m. tomorrow. You know, we are literally childless right now, which is cool. Like, we've had exchange kids and our own kids, and this is like the first time we've actually been empty nesters in our entire marriage or relationship. And I get to literally unplug mentally, physically, and here's the most important part as a business owner, mentally. And I don't have to worry about a darn thing. Yeah. And good for me. But here's the point. Good for you, because you can get there. I mean, I just shared my testimony with this dude earlier. Literally yesterday, July 21st, 1987, I did a Facebook post on this at 12:35 in the afternoon, 39 years ago. I literally was going to go and kill myself. I was 17, addicted to drugs. I had just stolen a bunch of money from my own mentor, who's been mentoring me since I was 12. He took me off the streets, put me in his home, bought me a car, literally believed in me, put clothes on my back, entrusted me with his auto parts store. And because drugs was such a big problem, I stole money from him so I could pay for more drugs. And that was on the Sunday, the 20th of July, 1987. Had the day off. I was summer break. Get your ass down here. Okay, excuse my language. Son Tim throws the invoice at me, goes, "What the hell is this?" I go, "What's a return for a carburetor?" "Yeah, I know, but we've never actually sold that carburetor. Where's the money?" And I'm caught red-handed. And my mentor, Gary, who loved me enough to step in when my parents left, I'm 17. I'm on the streets of East Oakland, California. Okay. Homeless. Done LSD, coke, crank, you name the drug I wanted to numb myself. Dropped out of high school. No hope at all. And Gary gives me this break, and I replace him by stealing money from him. And he said, "You know what? You want help?" I'm like, "I'm good." Said, "Okay, well, you're fired. You can't live in my house no more. Give me the keys to the car back." Okay. And stop by tomorrow, and Ginger, his wife, she'll pack all your stuff at the house and she'll have it here for you and you can take it. "Are you sure you don't want help?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." Went down the street, because that was at 38th Avenue and East 14th Street. Went down the street to 40th Avenue and East 14th Street. Stashed my drugs at the drug house I was buying drugs from, because I really wasn't sure I was done. Stepped out. I got no home. I got no family. My dad was a tow truck driver. My mom was a waitress. I got nothing. Like, I was crying. I was like, I got no reason to live. And for whatever reason, I'm like, I'm at least going to go back and ask Gary to forgive me. Walk back over. "Hey, can we just keep this between us?" "Yeah, no problem." "You sure you don't need help?" "No." I'm walking out. I get to the front door. Some guy, don't even know his name, says, "Hey, I want to talk to you." I go, "Get away from me." He goes, "Get the F in the truck right now." I'm like, "This guy's going to kill me." Okay, sure. Long story short, takes me to Thunder Road in West Oakland, California. Enter into a drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. Okay. As an adolescent, they made me come back the next day because nobody's ever turned themselves in at that age. They wanted to make sure I was serious. Okay. 45 days later, I get out, clean and sober, and get my GED, National Guard, start my first business at 20, because Gary always told me, he says, hey, I said, how can I ever repay? He says, keep your nose clean, literally, make something of yourself, and help a bunch of people. And I go, that's why I got a Narcotics Anonymous tattoo. Okay. Because I'm going to tell you right now, every single thing you've ever been through, this is your first day of the rest of your life. Had God not sent that guy, I would not be here today. I would be dead. Okay. And you might be trapped in your business. You may be listening to this recording or watching this YouTube video, and you have tried every single dang thing you've ever been taught on business, and it's just simply not working. And maybe it's time for you to get out of the way and get the help that you need. I needed that help. Okay. And so when I say I'm passionate about helping you be successful at business, I'm damn passionate about helping you succeed in business. Okay. And my team here is dedicated to that. So I want to close with that and tell you how special you are. And if you don't believe it, go and pick up Psalm 139, spend 30 days in there and listen to what God has to say about you. Okay. And stop worrying about what other people say about you. Okay. Go out and make it happen. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bless all of you. Have a great day.
See you guys.